Alright, this is the endgame version of the Paladin. This is where you're going to take the build to if you've got a lot of gear or spend a lot of time, or what you're going to do with the build when you come back to it after you've already played some other builds. It's not actually that hard to farm for. You basically you replace your regular chest piece with the Dawn Shard chest piece. Because it has 1900 armor as a base thing, a lot of base health, and it gives flat lightning damage, which is pretty nice, as well as points to Rune of Callister and the Dawn Shard proc. Um, so this is a little bit better than one of the robes that we picked last time. You're going to swap your shoulders over to Iron Maiden's shoulder guards, which give you Rune of Callister and base physical res on the item. You lose a little bit of damage from here, and you want to farm these until you either get Stonehide or Formidable prefixes. Your suffix does not matter. Getting OA in your suffix is really nice because of a lot of lightning abilities require you to crit, but once you get to 3000 OA, it doesn't matter. And you can just sacrifice some of your spirit for cunning to get OA. But Stonehide and Formidable prefix, anything suffix. Damage would actually be better. Of Thunder would be much better. Same thing goes for your pants. It's Kubacabra. You're going to go for Formidable or Stonehide. Same thing goes for your helmet. Formidable or Stonehide. Those are the two things you want because you want to have high armor, pretty high physical res in this version of the build. You're still using the Stoneplate Greaves, but you're just going to make a crap ton more of the Stoneplate Greaves to get a Stonehide or Formidable one that has lightning damage on Blade Bunny. Anything works on the metal. Again, you want OA and lightning damage. Your amulet is your big changer here. You gamble for this. Like, this is actually the first thing you want to change is your amulet. You gamble this amulet, I believe, in the Forgotten Gods vendor, which is located. If I open my map, you go over here to the Corvin's city, and you run down until that the first dungeon. Run in there, and the gamble vendor is there. You basically spend your Eldritch Essences to get this. Once you get this, is good game. This gives you plus 4% maximum all res, which is huge. 12 to 18% health, which is really nice for this build. And it gives you plus 1 to Oathkeeper. So you were using a plus 1 Inquisitor amulet up to this point, so this gives you basically an extra 2 skill points to play around with. It also gives you a cheat death. Once you drop below 25%, you basically go back to 100% health. That's just super powerful. You lose your lightning damage from your other amulet and whatever things you had, but it's just totally worth it. Still using living rings because they're just OP, and you can vendor farm them. You want to use your rings and your metal to fix your resistances. You use your rings and your metal to fix your resistances. This is a god ring. Because I farm these in pretty much every build, so I got this one. This belt is the belt you want to use because it gives you percent armor on the belt, and it has really high base armor. So you get elemental damage, offensive ability, percent armor. That's why this is better than the MI belt, mostly because of the percent armor, more than anything else. Still using this weapon. Thunderstruck of Thunder, pretty easy to get. This weapon you're farming with these two things, as well as you're farming with the MI belt, because you're going to be using the MI belt until you get this belt, and you're not going to gamble for this belt, because gambling for this belt is not worth it. This comes from a blueprint. You want to craft this until you get percent armor from Ulgrim. It does not matter what your other stats on it, you just want the percent armor base on it. It gives you artifact handling, which is multiplicative damage to your Rune of Callister, which shotguns, so that's overpowered. You want to have either Keepers, Stonehide, or General on the shield, and like any of those three kind of like armor, block, physical res prefixes, and then any type of elemental damage or lightning damage on the shield. And you can vendor farm this again at Bastion of Chaos. You just spend like about an hour, 2 hours vendor farming this, and you will get a really good one. Again, not worth it unless you're really just pushing this build to endgame, and this is the only thing you don't have. I would probably play the budget version, swap once I get a helmet speed level to a new build, and then just once I get a really good shield or one of these pieces of equipment, come back to this build. Still using Ignivar, like you want to upgrade your metal from Vendetta to Ignivar's Combustion, you get defensive ability. You get 2 completion bonuses. You want to go for the Rune of Callister Inquisitor Seal or the Word of Renewal Aura of Censure. Word of Renewal Aura of Censure is a little bit better than the Rune of Callister Inquisitor Seal one, but I got tired of making these. And yeah, that's the build. You are really tanky with this build. Aura of Censure reduces target's damage, so you're just taking less damage. You have flat damage reduction. When you stand on Inquisitor Seal, you're near immortal, especially when you pop Resilience, or Ascension, I mean, and then you're just like super immortal. And even if you do start taking chunk damage, you've still got Resilience, Ozrika Sands, and Turtle to pop. Virus Might's just being used to run. Putting points in Tectonic Shift just allows you to use it more often. You want to max out Safeguard for more armor. Don't really care about the physical damage. Physical damage is partially converted to lightning, but the armor is why you pump this. 10 points here, 6 points here. Max this out just specifically for the OA. You don't really have too many things to pump points. You could put points... If you don't need as much OA, you could pump points into Word of Agony, increase the range, increase the lightning damage, and then pump points into Death Sentence. If you really need Aether and Chaos Res, pump some points into Steel Resolve. I would take points out of Tectonic Shift and Safeguard, unless you have the OA, and if you have the OA, take points out of Presence of Virtue, and then pump points into Steel Resolve. 22 of 22 of this, as many as you can in this. 4 is a pretty sweet spot. Again, we don't need to crit all the time, but when we do crit, because we're gonna be using Korvac to reduce targets OA, OADA, and we're gonna be using Arcane Bomb to reduce targets OA. That makes us a little more defensive. And then we have Seal of Annihilation, which reduces targets OADA. And we shotgun with this ability. Right now, we don't have very much attacks or cast speed, which is fine. It's not that big of a deal. Our lightning damage is 2600 because you need 2600 means you're doing competent damage, and when you shotgun, that's like you can take down a boss in one shot. And electrocute damage is 2000. That's not so bad. We're using Seal of Might, or Presence of Might, like Seal of Might to get the Fizz Res and some resistances, and we're using Seal of Skies for a spam ability between all of our cooldowns. When you're fighting bosses like Crate, use this at the very beginning, but after that just kite. Same thing for Ravager and the other ones. Physical Res, 43%, not bad. So what you kind of do when you're using, like when you're against super bosses, is you pop your seal and you have your Ascension up, and while Ascension is up you throw lightning bolts and you're just sitting there keeping the seals up. Right before Ascension drops, dodge roll out and then just run away and just drop seals and Word of Pain and runes, just kind of kite them through it, and that's how you're going to play this build. It's fairly simple. I'm using a what's it called? Dawn Shard Transmog that I made. I need to change the boots and pants a little bit. I still haven't fully played with it. Yeah, this is the endgame version. I have a Korvac kill that I just threw together. I don't really have time. I'm in the middle of writing, so I don't have time to make a full video for this. I will do a Cronley kill coming up, as I always do, just to show the difference of it. But yeah, later on I could show other kills, but I have a starter build I want to do, and I really need to get back to writing. So I'll show the chrono kill and then the Corvette kill, and I'll see you next time. Alright, we are at Cronley. Here's Cronley. Hello, Cronley. We are going to after this. Just
be sorry, I mean, he wants opportunity for 1 hour.
Just dropping my things. Wait till Cronley moves, and now he's dead. And that's what the Endgame version looks like. Sorry, I don't really have time to record much footage. So here is a Corvette kill with the Endgame version. I just wasted my, what's it called, didn't I? You can't really well, you can pre-load against Corvette, and I fucked them, because you're not supposed to put it directly into it, you're supposed to make it go up to you. I'm just going to sit in the fireball. I should be able to tank these things. Alright, so you put this thing right here. He's still triggering them? What the hell? Oh. Yeah, this build face tanks pretty easily. Because it has so much flat damage. It has so much just healing. It has a little bit of that. It has so much armor. That's the big thing about this build. Let's see, can I continue to face tank this? Yeah, no problem. This build has no issues dealing with what's it called? With crate. It's actually a kiting build. But it's tanky enough to face tank. And you don't really feel so much fear from face tanking because you have Ozarkos Sands, which is basically a cheat death. You drop pretty low on health, you go back to maximum health. When you go to maximum health, you suddenly proc your resilience, and then you proc your turtle. Then you can just run around and let Ozarkos Sands go around for a bit. But anyways, yeah, that's one of the things, and I'll probably kill Krieg with it like I normally do. Thanks for watching.